Assalamu alaikum, fam. Hope you're doing well. So, very cool things I learned in this book about Genghis Khan thus far. So, whenever the Mongols were outnumbered, right, they did some clever tactics by tossing a lot of sand in the wind, I guess, to hide their numbers and obscure how many they were. But they also tied tree branches to their horses' tails that would then, brush up dust into the air to confuse their opponents who were pursuing them heavily. I thought that was very clever. But one cool thing that it says also is that during the Jerkid campaigns, this is like 1213, 1212, the 12th century basically, the hot moisture of the area was hard on the horses because they were used to kind of more of the cooler weather, so the humidity and the hot temperatures seemed to affect the soldiers and the horses. So that was a very interesting turn of events where the climate is actually what was slowing down the Mongols at a certain point. Now, further, the author notes for us that in 1214, the Zongdu, which is Beijing today, which is held by the Golden Khan, he actually submits. So Genghis Khan wants all his places he conquers to be vassal states. He doesn't want to impose Mongol rule. So with the Uyghurs, the Tangut, the Kintan, and the Jerkids now, he wants them to supply him with resources. He doesn't want to push on a Mongol government on them. He wanted to conquer them and then get tribute. So the Golden Khan in Beijing, in Zongdu, he decides, you know what, I'm gonna just submit. He gives silk, gold, lots of goodies, but what was also interesting is that he gave over 3,000 horses. Now, what I was thinking about is these type of horses that he would have given, they probably would have been different than the shaggy kind that the Mongols had, which they probably would have used to fortify their ranks even further. Horses that are accustomed to the climate would have been very valuable, since the author does note that their horses were struggling with the shift in climate and such, weather arrangements. So what's also interesting is, Piers, I don't know if you want to call them hostages, but 500 young men and women were also handed over, and the Golden Khan also said, okay, you can have one of my daughters as a wife. And Genghis Khan gets a wife. So he conquered the Zongdu, and he gets a wife and a bunch of hostages. I remember reading when we read the Gallic Wars on the channel. It's deleted because my hair was showing, but either way I read it. Hostages were demanded, and it seems to be quite common throughout history where one court decides to another one, hey, we want hostages, so hand them over. It appears that even the Chinese at this time in the 12th century handed over hostages and demanded that. So the Mongols have conquered the Jerkid, the Khitan, the Tangut, the Uyghur. I mean, just kicking butt and taking names. He took out Jamunka. He took out Ong Khan. I mean, he is just, wow, doing what it takes. Quite interesting. So I thought I'd share those little nuggets with you.